Well, this is the peak time of the year for interviews. College students are preparing to begin their professional lives.
And 62,000 Wisconsin high school students will enter the workforce. To ace an interview, you have to know what not to say. Jeff Havens is a corporate speaker and author, and he's talked to HR professionals and asked for their best examples of bad job interview answers.
Good
Welcome
to see
back,
you again,
Dawn.
Jeff.
Good to see you. Thanks very much for having me again.
So, what are some of the classics that you think you should ask, but you shouldn't?
Well, you should definitely not ask what the company does. A lot of people.
You probably should know that.
Yeah, they should know the research before you go in. You should be like, what exactly do you guys do? I'm going to so many interviews this week, I don't really even know. If you could just fill me in. You already sound like you don't care about the job at that point. You sound like you just need a paycheck, and they're going to assume that you don't care about the job, and they won't hire you.
Yeah, that's a serious red flag.
Yeah.
Now, your second tip, and this one is interesting to me, you say don't ask about salary or benefits, things like health insurance or vacation during the interview.
Not at first. If that's in the first 2 or 3 questions that you ask, like how much vacation time am I going to get? How many sick days am I going to get? What you're basically saying is, I don't want to do this job. I want to know how little I have to do this job. I think it's obviously important later in the interview, after you've established that you're interested in doing the work, after they've established some interest in you. But if you lead with that kind of question, then the same as coming in kind of dressed like you're going to a kegger. You're just going to look like you don't care about the job.
Even salary, you feel salary should be off the table.
A lot of HR folks I'm talking to say that, especially for entry-level jobs, the salary isn't as negotiable maybe as it used to be. A lot of them are saying, you know, this is our salary. There's a range within that, but it shouldn't be your starting point. Your starting point should be, I'm interested in this job. I'm interested in working for this company. I'm interested in learning more about what I'd be doing and how I could grow. Salary obviously is going to be a question, but not at the beginning.
Okay.
What if they ask you, what do you think this job is worth? Or what do you,
I hate that question.
I hate
know.
that question.
I hate that. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you. It's the same as, you know, what's your biggest weakness? I'm like, I'm just too passionate. I just love working so much. Yeah, I know.
Too hard.
I asked my mother works for State Farm, and she's hired several people before, and I asked her honestly, if I came into an interview once and I said, you know what, I am 15 minutes late. I'm always late to work. I will work 15 minutes at the end of the day. And she said, yeah, it probably wouldn't go over well in the interview. So I'm like, you basically want me to not tell you what my greatest weakness is. You want me to kind of lie. So some of those questions are sort of gaming it. You have to figure out a way to say it that doesn't, that isn't totally honest, I guess. A little bit of it is marketing and selling yourself.
Another question people ask about, how do I get your job?
Oh my God, yes, yeah. How do I do the job? I don't really want to do the job that I'm hiring or that I'm applying for. I want to do the job that you're doing. So how long do I have to do this crappy entry-level job before I can be vice president? And no
People
idea.
would ask that?
Yes, like not necessarily how long before I can be vice president, but more generically, how long do I have to do this before I can move up? Because a lot of people come in, I have a college degree, so I'm like eminently qualified. I know how to do. I'm sure it can't be. I mean, what, you sit in front of a TV? How long does it take you to learn this stuff? I mean, 3 weeks.
I can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to eat a little humble pie.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And here's another one. Don't talk about how everyone at your previous job was terrible.
Yeah, if you come,
I couldn't wait to get out of there.
I know, it was, and the reason I got fired, it totally wasn't because of me. It was because all those people are idiots. They don't know what they're doing. That company's probably going to not even be around in 6 months because I'm not there anymore. If you act like you are antagonistic to your previous employers and previous colleagues, chances are people will assume you're going to be antagonistic to your current employers and current colleagues. So you need to act nice, basically, like, you know, play well with others. That kind of thing we learned in school.
Questions not to ask.
Yeah. Oh, and another one is don't do the interview with puppets. If anybody's seen the videos that we put together, somebody came into an interview once, and they were just more comfortable with puppets on their hands than they were with actual talking back and forth. It wasn't a theater job either. It was just like, my greatest strength is I'm really funny. Ha ha ha.
Oh, yikes.
I bet he didn't get the job.
I don't think so.
Well,
No.
you can see a lot more of Jeff's tips for how to fail an interview on YouTube. You have part 1 and part 2, both on YouTube.
We interviewed a whole bunch of HR managers and just said, what are some of your favorite disaster stories about interviews? And they were happy to supply them, and then we acted everything out. Also, don't take a phone call during your interview. If you get a text or phone call, keep it in your pocket.
Good tips from the author of How to Get Fired, Jeff Havens. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Jeff, good to see you.
You too.
More information, by the way, at jeffhavens.com.